wonder where John's at. He was still at the office when I left.
Was he going to vote?
No, I think he had already.
Okay.
I might have confused him because for some reason I thought that the meeting was at 6:30 because I scheduled an interview today for 5:30, thinking I'd have 45 minutes before our meeting. And then Mary Ann reminded me, no, it's 6 o'clock.
Well, I have got 6. Do you, Michelle?
Well, yes, I certainly do. Just that second.
Okay. All right. I will call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call.
Scott Weaver,
Here.
Matt Roslowski,
Here.
Paul Tubalkin.
Here.
Michelle, are there any citizens online yet?
Nothing yet. Nope.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from last month, please?
So moved.
Matt,
Second.
you good with them? All ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we do not have our village administrator here. Mayor, is there anything you need to fill us in on?
Oh. We have several things going on. There's going to be a BZA hearing one day this month. I think it's the 16th for variances for the proposed Dollar General store. And just so everyone knows, when I spoke with Phil Rath last week, this is still a pending sale. Unless something changed since last Wednesday, it's still a pending sale with them.
Okay.
But they want to get all their ducks in a row, I guess. I'm going to assume, and I should never assume anything, before they make a final sale with Phil.
Okay.
And
How
we
did-
also,
How did he, I mean, could you read them? Was it did he have a
Phil?
good feeling about it? Yeah.
hold on just a second. I think John True is texting me.
Okay.
He'll be here in a minute.
Okay.
I know, I think Phil wants to do it, once he decided that they could use the extra revenue from the sale of the property. It just, you want to make sure that everything's done right. And so
Sure.
have the BZA do the variances on the parking issues. And I've been on the phone with CT, and Gene Arders is going to be handling this one as well as Rich. So we have that one. We have a lot split combination. We also have the vet clinic that's gone to CT. And then some people wanted to purchase some property. In fact, they may have purchased it down behind Lamplighter, but they wanted to put one of those tiny houses on it and put a holding tank, like a 500-gallon holding tank for water and for sewer. Well,
Okay.
that's not allowed in the village, so that's that. Let's see, what else? I know it's on here, Canada Road. We called, Dave finally got the first 1,600 feet done. And when I got a hold of Todd Lamb for John, it's too late in the season. And we'll go into more detail on that once we get down that far. The 2 new employees are working out real well.
Have we had them work on the flag poles or on the power poles about the flags? We done anything with that?
Not yet, because Matt is in talks with, I think her name's Lisa Itala from Ohio Edison regarding the contract, because there's things in the contract there. So he's going to be the liaison there, take that over and be discussing things with Michelle.
Okay,
At this point, we're just gonna go with the status quo
okay.
and find out more information. Matt could probably give you an update on that. I know he spoke with Lisa last week.
Should I give my update now or wait till later when we get on the list?
No, go ahead while we're waiting for John.
Yeah, go
'cause he
ahead.
said
We're
he's
waiting on
logging
John.
in.
Go for it.
Well, real quick before we get too far off topic, Phil, is he the owner of Compass Packaging?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Phil
very
Compass
good.
Packaging.
Has he been trying to sell that lot for a while?
No, he was not interested in it a few years back because we had a grocery store that wanted to buy it and he wasn't interested. So I have to again assume that the Dollar General people, and we did not know until probably within the last 3 or 4, maybe the last month, actually Dollar General. We were just trying to contact us with, but it was, oh, it was for sure. But the gossip being Manaway, known it was Dollar General.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
spare you my Vito Corleone impression, but it might have made him an offer he can't refuse. But in regards to the polls, yeah, so over the course of the past few weeks, I've left Lisa a few voicemails, and she's just been, very busy this month. And she finally called me back last Thursday, and so we had a discussion about the contract and the couple of things that Michelle, things are suspect in the contract. One being the indemnification clause, and the second would be just the length. Maybe not having to renew it every single year. But my focus of the call was really the indemnification clause. I felt that was just more important to focus on. And basically, what Lisa said is that's not coming out because it's just their standard contract they give to all municipalities that are looking to do that. So what I want to have with Lisa is sort of a back and forth between her and her legal department about, just getting down to more of the details of what this means and the impacts and things like that, or at least their response to Michelle's concerns. So Lisa isn't, a legal whiz just like myself. So what she did is she engaged her legal team with our questions and concerns about that indemnification clause, and then she's going to get back to me. And that was last Thursday. I haven't heard back, and I don't want to pester her because I kind of pester her to get her to call me back. So I'm going to wait just until a full week passes, so Thursday.
Okay.
I'll reach back out Thursday, and then I'll start the process over again. But I sent her our concerns, and I'm curious to see what they come back with.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Michelle, you could articulate this better than I can. What was the issue with the indemnification clause? It shouldn't be on there because of some previous legislation in Ohio that said you kind of can't do that. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Michelle, you're muted.
Right, we can't legally indemnify them, and there's some Ohio Attorney General opinions on them that explain why. And it's kind of detailed, but basically we have to appropriate all the money that could potentially be the subject of the indemnification amount. And of course, it's an unknown amount. We can't incur a potential debt without having money appropriated for it. That's the gist of what that AG's opinion says, much more intelligently than I just said it. But if they dig their heels in, let me know and I can supply that opinion. I know that a lot of municipalities either don't know or they just ignore this fact, and there's plenty of contracts out there that have indemnification clauses in them, but I would not really want to knowingly authorize a contract with that in it, knowing that it's not a legal thing. So
yeah, understood. So one more follow-up question to that. The indemnification, I guess, penalty consequence that could potentially arise from that. The insurance doesn't cover any of that, or how does the insurance factor into that?
well, insurance does cover it, and their whole liability section has so many different facets in it that it seems to me that even if the indemnification clause was gone, there's a lot of other elements that protect them, including us naming them as an additional insured on our insurance. I mean, they're covered 6 ways from Sunday, even without indemnification. So
Yeah.
it seems to me it shouldn't be a big deal. And I've worked through other vendors and other contractual parties that, you know, have started off like, well, we can't take that up, but eventually they've come to compromises. So I think, I hope that these people are reasonable and they ultimately see this.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Lisa disagreed with that. She was just like, it's not coming out because it's a standard contract. Can you do me a favor though, and that AG opinion that you would reference, can you dig that out and send it to me? So when she comes back and says it's not coming out, I could just boom, reply right back with that. Is that cool? I'm sorry, you're muted.
I'll email it to you.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Okay.
I
Holly
figured you
says,
had it like right there. You don't have to do so much work together. All right, very good.
no,
But
I
that's
can
that.
get it.
Anybody have any questions or anything?
Sorry.
I said, but that's that with the poll issue. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh,
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
I'm
I
working
mean,
on it.
I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a long drawn out process. So
Yeah.
just try to wear her down, you know?
Yeah, right. I want to win. I want to win this one.
Well, thanks for taking it on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Important.
yeah, that's a huge help, just having somebody do battle with them. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind taking on these little, onesie twosie tasks to get this stuff done, So if there's
Yeah.
anything else that pops up that I can help with like this, let me know.
yeah, that's
Don't tell
awesome.
me
Thanks
that.
for doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Linda will have you in the office every day.
yeah.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
You're muted there, John.
Yes, and sorry about that. I was making phone calls and talking to people and realized what time it was.
That's all right. You were just in time for the village administrator's report.
Good. Basically, been very busy doing a bunch of things by planning commission and so forth. You guys will see that later. But most importantly, we submitted the MPDS phase for the wastewater plant. It's due every 5 years. We had to complete that. We had some technical difficulties with EBIZ and EPA, but Mr. Don Feller was very helpful in that, and we got it done between him and I, and a couple weeks going back and forth with the EPA. It was not fun. They asked for like 5 separate passwords to put this in. The last time the village filed this was in 2012.
Oh,
Just submitted in paper in 2017. They didn't miss any. It's just Don and Maynard's signature were still on there. That's how long ago. So
wow.
I had to update all that things, and we will have that. It'll be on one piece of paper and, for future reference. So, but
Okay.
other than that, everything's been going pretty well, getting ready for snow mode, fixing the trucks and some conveyors on the one plow truck needed fixed. That's been corrected and moving forward.
Good.
And hopefully all goes well tonight for us.
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Anybody have anything else for John?
Nope.
Okay. Matt?
Oh,
All right.
No, sir. No, thank you.
Okay. So the meter replacement's still on hold, John?
Yep.
Is that what I'm?
That's correct. Still on hold
Okay.
because of
Okay.
COVID.
Yeah, I mean, totally understandable. Canada Road. So the guys finally finished the ditches, but it's too late to start paving or chip and sealing. Even with
Paving.
this. Go ahead, Linda, what?
No, it's paving. It's not going to be chip and seal.
Okay, it's paving.
Yes.
So we're still, even with the nice weather we have coming forward, we're not gonna be able to squeeze anything in.
Apparently the plants are getting ready to close down, and he's not comfortable using asphalt that has gotten wet and then putting it out when it's cold. He would rather do it. He says it'll last, but if you do it like when it's warmer weather where the sun can get to it as much as possible and the heat is there, he would prefer to do it that way. through no fault of his own, he was held up for 2 months for doing it, so.
Yeah,
So a couple options are, we could make sure that Jenny saves them the 40,000, excuse me, $40,000 and do 1,600 feet next year and do another 1,600 feet the year after, or take our chances, excuse me, and put it out for bid for the 3,200 square feet and get it all done next, the 3,200 done next year. So think on that. We can put up a bid package. That's something that we can do ourselves. We don't have to have CT do it, the bid package and handle it. But, somebody might come in with a better quote even than Todd, but we'll have to verify, the funds as the year changes with Jenny to see where we're at, because we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we've agreed to a contract in that, so. But Jenny is confident, that we have the money, so we know we can at least do 1,600 feet next year and 1,600 feet the year after, or if service wants to move forward with legislation to put a bid packet together. So you guys decide that.
well, John, how do you feel about it? If we have to wait till spring regardless, I mean,
Yeah, I was hoping he had time, but she's right about the plant starting to close down. A lot of the plant operators have already taken off to Florida, but wish they could have been around. But yeah, I think we'll still get some prices. We'll get better prices if we do that this year for a bid package in the spring. We would, but if we keep it under the 40, it's only the part of the road. But I'd like to do as much as we can, with your blessing, of course.
well, I guess that's my feeling too. If we put it out for bid, maybe we can get 2,000 feet instead of 1,600 feet if we can keep it at the same cost, right?
Well, what we can do is put it out for bid and maybe mill off some bad spots if necessary. We'll look at it. It's got to sit through spring. We're going to have to take a look at it again, freeze and thaw. And
Right.
what we do is just mill and fill, and then have a not to exceed on our bid. Bid not to exceed, and do it that way and see what kind of bids. I used to do these all the time in Aurora, and we put it together like that. They can't exceed the amount, whatever we come up with on our
Okay.
estimate.
Well, do you think that your guys will still be able to do the culvert before the snow flies? I mean, still do that this year or no?
No, they'll
Okay.
probably wait until spring.
Okay,
We're still on Pioneer Trail culvert, but we did already mark that. I marked the culvert and everything else, 12 inches from there where the pavement starts. We've been out there and done that. But we're
Okay.
still on Pioneer Trail.
all right. So maybe we could try to do this in conjunction with, everything together then.
Putting a bid packet together this fall, this winter, would be a good idea from my perspective to let
Yeah.
the businesses do the bidding,
Yep.
get their start on it,
Totally agree.
plan for the future instead of waiting to the last minute.
Yep.
And trying to.
Yeah, if we're gonna be waiting anyway, we might as well.
Yep.
So try to get a better deal, and maybe we can squeeze out some more footage out of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was the idea to do a not to exceed for like the 40 grand to see if you could maybe get more than 1,600?
Yeah,
So-
that's kind of that's my feeling.
So
You know.
then if 3,200 feet's on the table for next year, or the year after, but it's on the table for next year to some degree, is it difficult to get two bid packets, one for a do not exceed up to a certain amount for that 1,600 feet-ish, and then do another one for the full 3,200 just to see what it looks like?
Well, Matt, if we are going to do 1,600 feet next year, we wouldn't have to do a bid package. We would only have to get quotes.
Okay,
It's when it reaches the $50,000 threshold that you
Okay.
need to get a bid. And that's why I
Gotcha.
said we could still do 1,600 feet next year with just a quote, but if we're going to try and do 2 years worth in 1 year, making it 3,200 feet, that would definitely have to be out for bid. And John and Michelle can explain that better than I, but I understand that part of it.
all right, that makes a lot of sense now. All right, that clears up a lot. All right, so maybe the first one would be like a do not exceed $50,000. But anyways, I got you.
Well, I think you're gonna have to take it up more than 50,000 if you're looking at the 3,200.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just thinking if for year one we're looking to exceed 1,600, maybe cap it at 50. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
a brainstormer. I'm a brainstormer.
John?
Well, if you're gonna do 1,600, you probably not to exceed 80,000, but then you get bid package together. You know, we'll have to have the engineer's estimate of quantities. That's it. The rest of it, we can put together ourselves.
But we're not gonna pay 80,000 for 1,600 feet, maybe 3,200 feet.
Correct.
I was just thinking we could squeeze, 2,000 feet or maybe 2,200 feet out of that for 40 grand. When these guys are looking at this stuff in the wintertime, they're looking at spring and they're gonna bite off what they can. That's all I was thinking. I mean, I know we got a quote for the 1,600. I was just hoping we could get a little more. And then the following year just wouldn't cost us as much. That's all. So, but
Yeah, and it's a lot to the draw because some of the bigger contractors won't touch our contract,
sure.
The
Yeah.
local ones kind of get that little bit in between because the smaller pavers and the larger trucks. So it's not an exact science at all, but like Paula said, if we do it now and for the spring and give much better pricing, that's correct.
Yeah. I say we give it a whirl. For the first section. I mean, the 40 grand and see what we can get out of it. We don't have to tell them we're looking at 1,600 feet for 40 grand. Just
How much can you do for 40 grand?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And see what we can get, That's my feeling.
Well,
I like
I'm thinking that if we check with Jenny and she's comfortable that we would still have $80,000 next year, that we should put out a bid for paving. And I'm not using the correct words that John would use. How many feet can you do for $80,000? We know that Todd says for $80,000, he could do 3,200. We don't have to put the 3,200 feet in the bid. We could put the bid packet out as we have $80,000. We want to pave as much of this road as you can. I don't know what the correct wording is, John.
Yeah, we'd have to not to exceed
Not to
amount.
exceed 80.
We have to do the quantity. So we'd have to say how much asphalt, how many feet we want. We have to have something to bid on and to correctly. We can't necessarily give the dollar amount, but we know that it's that amount. So we can go over or under to get that 80,000.
Yeah, but when would that 80,000 be available? I guess that's my question, I mean, if we're gonna put this off till spring, I want to at least get the thing started in the spring. Are we gonna be held up because we won't have the money until late summer?
Well, I had sent you guys all that email with that breakdown that Jenny said of where she could pull the money from. She was gonna take, and I didn't bring it home. That's the difference
That's
of
okay.
having,
That's
doing
okay.
Zoom from here. 20,000 of it for doing the 40 thing. If we're gonna do 40,000 or 1,600 feet, 20,000 was gonna come out of the road levy money. And then she was gonna take some out of streets and some out of, it might have been the Sanko Bain Fund, the 4905 account, to come up with the 40. But she was comfortable. I will resend you the email tomorrow so you can see how she had her breakdown on that. And Mary Ann, remind me to do that tomorrow because it's laying on my desk. But
Okay.
Jenny had done a breakdown of.
Okay,
Well, I mean, it sounds like for this year, she felt comfortable with it, but if we're looking at, pulling another 40 next year.
Well, she
No,
was
let's not.
comfortable with that when I spoke with her in August. I said, can we do 1,600 feet this fall and 1,600 feet next year. She had come up with 80-some thousand dollars to do it earlier. And then you guys didn't want to move forward in August. And then all of a sudden she, if I recall, she was a little confused on what our match was on West Prospect, thinking we had more match on the West Prospect phase 2.
Right.
And after she rechecked, she still had the 80,000. I'll resend you guys the email.
Okay.
You can
All
see
right.
what she had said. I mean,
Okay.
we can discuss it at next month's meeting and we'll still have time to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would hate to give up the 1,600 feet in the spring if we have to wait till late summer to do 3,200 because we don't have the money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's all I'm thinking.
Right.
But
No, I know what you're saying.
if we can do the 80 in the spring, then yeah, let's go for it. You know,
Okay.
but
I
it
will
just
get
looks
that
like
information to you.
we're gonna have a lot of money out come spring, you know, that's
Right.
so, okay. All right. Hold on one sec. All right, then I guess we move on to old business. Round 35 of the OPWC waterline replacement, Glenwood Grand Elm 44. The pre-app submitted.
Yeah, our meeting is next week. The 10th, I think it is at 2:00. We are below the line again. We didn't make the cutoff. Again, they're probably going to say that we could do the small government funding. So, sorry, I thought I saw something flitting through the room.
It was a bat.
We just had one, so I don't need another one. I don't know whether it was outside that I saw it or if it's in the house, so.
And generally, Mayor, the reason we don't score as well and we're below or close to the line is usually projects like that to score really well is a 50% match often.
Right.
And that's difficult for us.
But I'm gonna be confident and tonight we're gonna have a yes vote from our residents and it'll go to the county and that'll be off of our chart anyhow. I mean, we can still apply through it with the county for that, you know, they can use what we have presented already. So let's just be positive that the
Yeah.
referendum's going to pass tonight.
Let's hope.
Good vibes. All right, well, the Ohio Edison pole banner agreement, Matt's working on, so we've already discussed that. West Prospect Phase 2, small government funding was approved, getting bids this fall. So Rich is working on that, correct?
Yes, that
Okay.
should be done here shortly to put the bid out.
Okay. Does he have a date for when he's gonna do that?
I thought that he told me that the bid opening was going to be in December.
Okay. And we'll probably have to do that virtually, or are we gonna be able to do that in person, do you think?
Trying to think, the last bid opening I had, the people came to council chambers and we just had our masks on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, things just seem bad right now, so. All right, still advertising for an operator. Well, as of tonight, hopefully we don't need to do that. So I don't even want to discuss that. We'll keep the good mojo going. Asset management. We're just going to leave that on here, but Rich really isn't working on that, are they, Linda?
I've been working on, I submitted 3 pages to the EPA. to
Okay.
Keep them out of bay. They're still calling me. I'm going to call them after tonight, one way or another, and we'll move in which direction we have to.
Okay. That's all we can do. Well,
I have a
But-
couple things when you're done.
I guess I'm done. We're at the bottom of the list, so go for it.
We got the 5 laptops that we were ordering. just to let you know, and it's gonna be under $3,000, but make, let you be aware. They didn't come with, any mouses, so we're gonna be having Mary Ann order us 5 wireless mouses for that. We feel that, they need to have the antivirus on, so we will take care of that, and I'll put that on my village credit card tomorrow, Mary Ann. And then I guess for those that are going to be carrying them back and forth, Michelle would be the one carrying hers back and forth when we do the Zoom meetings from Village Hall, like we do the planning ones. So we'll have to decide how many carrying cases we have, so somebody doesn't have to put them in a giant eagle bag to lug them back and forth. So there was that. So just so you know, you're gonna be seeing something come through for that. John
Okay.
approved it earlier, but Mary Ann and I'll take care of it tomorrow during the day. Mike Zemeznik is there, putting the, Microsoft Word and the different things on, so that we can have those. So I think that'll be great, because then I'll have a computer that when I work from home is just Village. It's not on my personal computer.
Yeah.
Move all my stuff off my personal computer onto that. I just
Okay.
don't. The other thing is, and I know we said we didn't want to talk about this, is if for some reason that the merger with the county is voted down tonight, does service want to recommend contacting the county and forming a new contract with the changes made to last year's agreement and the changes that we had all agreed on when we just did the memorandum of understanding, and present it at the council meeting as emergency legislation? So that if, and Michelle, help me here, so I say this right. So if we write it as emergency legislation, then when we suspend the rules, it goes into effect that day instead of having to wait 30 days. And the plants would still go to the county at the beginning of January.
You're correct. If the legislation is crafted as emergency legislation, it goes into effect immediately and it's not subject to referendum. It's just a question of whether council wants to do that if the voters have just said, no, we don't want to approve a transfer.
Yeah.
My
So
comment was gonna be, let's see what the vote looks like. If it's overwhelmingly in one direction,
But if it's close,
yeah, but if it's close,
Well, it also puts us, this one, if it's close, even if it's close, if the auditors question it, because sometimes they come up with the issues that you're past this as an emergency, so you didn't give the public a chance. It might be a little questionable there.
I would be willing to entertain the thought, though.
If it's close, I would too. The thing that scares me, and I think Marty brought it up, or maybe Ben brought it up months ago, is that how many people voted early or were going to vote early before we got an opportunity to discuss it,
well, I've spoken to several people, more than several people, and they all understand that nobody likes it, but it needs to be done. I mean, when you look at the fact that 500 cubic feet of water and sewer with a surcharge through the village is $180 a month. 500 cubic feet of water and sewer with the surcharge through the county is 125.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know that we made it perfectly clear that night at the
Well,
park.
I thought we did.
how many people voted before we had that meeting at the park. You know, I mean, that's, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
not. I mean, maybe we're off base, but Paula, did you vote before that?
Yes, I did vote before that, and it, you know, we're sitting here talking about it, but we have, everything's dependent on
Right,
the vote.
right.
And I think we have to, Matt, and I think you chimed in, Scott, that you would be, you know, if it's a close vote, you would consider doing it at, yeah, emergency. I might be a bit hesitant on that, but let's wait and see, so we hear what's going on.
Well, Paula, explain to me, because I don't I know that when we have legislation that we have there and we suspend the rules, regular legislation, like the calendar or something, things that can go 3 readings, they're more like housekeeping. I can see where the auditors would question when you do a lot of those kind of things.
Well,
But,
I think that's
but
why,
when it's written as emergency language, wouldn't that fall in a different category? I don't know where you're getting your information from. That's why I'm asking you.
well, it just seems that in the past, there have been some reports that have come back, auditing reports that have kind of dinged us on some of that. You know, I don't see.
Why didn't the clerk make us aware of that then?
I think she has. She has. That's why a lot of times when you talk about some of the housekeeping, and I say, you know, this is one we can let go if we don't have to pass it immediately.
And I
And Ben and
understand that.
Marty have always said, you're right, we don't need to pass that immediately.
I don't I agree with you on that. But
And-
then I guess my question would be is we always pass when we have to appropriate more money because we've run low. Why not appropriate more money at the beginning of the year, so then you wouldn't have to be doing it every other month?
We could. So that can be done.
Well,
And,
that's something
do
that
that
probably
right,
should be done.
you know, starting to do that. But, and I still will be on the fence on that. I can't commit today how I'm gonna
No,
go.
nobody's asking you to.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this is a,
Yeah, and I think we have to wait until tomorrow or so before we know what's going on.
yeah.
And
I hate to feel like we're strong arming anybody, but I
Right.
also, I mean, I think everybody needs to understand that if this fails,
well, I would have preferred to have seen us make that ordinance rather than going with the MOU. I know Michelle was questioning and pushed and brought the MOU up as a substitute for actually coming to a new contract with the county that contained all of the better wording. But this would just seem to me a little underhanded for them to the village after we've offered them the vote. Well, no, we didn't offer them the vote, but we kind of left ourselves in that position.
well, I think we need to see how tonight shakes out.
Yeah.
We regroup tomorrow or the next day, and if we need to, you know what? If we need to have a special meeting, we need to go together and discuss how we're gonna approach this, then that's what we need to do. But regardless, if this thing fails,
We're in trouble. We're in
there's a
trouble.
rate hike. There's another rate hike coming. I mean, we don't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no silver lining to this whatsoever, except a yes vote. That's it. That's, I mean,
So let's just wait and see what happens.
yeah, let's wait and see. And if we have to take drastic measures, then I hate to be the one that says more government, we need to
Right.
do
Well, I
that,
just
but
think-
we
right.
might have to do that. I mean, there might not be a choice.
I just wanted to make you guys aware that there is a possibility out there of something else that we could do.
Right,
None of us want to do it, but
right, yeah. I mean, but I agree with Matt. I mean, if it's really close, then I would definitely consider it. I mean, I hate to, but I would.
okay.
Okay,
That was all I had tonight.
anybody else?
I've got three things.
Okay,
One, we skipped over COVID-19 state funds we received. Is our list complete and the fire department request?
oh, we did skip over. What was the fire department's request
They wanted all of our leftover COVID money to
for the squad?
purchase a new squad, and
Yeah,
it can't, a lot of places are doing it, but it's not on the list.
And we just have to remember that this is pass-through money, and even if they buy their squad and it doesn't pass audit scrutiny, we're on the hook to replenish that money ourselves.
okay,
It's not a freebie.
okay.
So I guess in finance, Matt, you need to get the information as far as how much have we not spent? And then look at if we have to cough that extra money up because it's not approved from the state perspective. That gives us something to work with.
Right,
Right, well, John,
So-
we're still buying stuff now. John I sent it to you, the estimate from Harner to
Mhm.
make the touch-free toilets and sinks and such. And then we're still waiting for one from JC Electric to make all the light switches, so when you walk in, they're motion censored.
yeah,
The chief was still ordering few more things, and these wireless mouses and antivirus stuff, that's all COVID money too,
okay.
so.
John, do you feel like you've done everything you needed to do with that money, or?
Well, I'm still waiting on quote from Harner. I need a quote from JC Electric right now. And that'll be much under 5,000, I'm sure. But we're still waiting. They walked through everything they need to do for all the all the lighting to be touchless. And there's only a couple they actually have to go in the ceiling or go through a wall. So most of that's just independent switches. So I'm looking for that to be very inexpensive.
Okay.
Comparatively.
But the guys down at the service garage, I mean, we've got everything kind of taken care of that you were gonna need. You got sprayers and,
Correct. We have all that stuff and we have stuff in reserve, and the chief bought 2 cabinets so we can keep the stuff.
oh, good,
Office, there's 2 cabinets for storage actually in council chambers.
okay,
For a lot of the PPE and other things that he has bought.
okay, all right. What else did you have there, Matt?
Yep, two other quick things. When you mentioned the laptops, you mentioned the mouses, the mouses. There you go, the mouses, the mice, and the antivirus.
Wireless mice.
Yeah, and I was going to say, don't forget, I'm IT guy here. I do this stuff, but then you mentioned Mike, so. But I would still just say, if anybody's ever in a pinch with this stuff, you can call me. I can come fix your computer or help you out your computer. And then number 3, I was at the village hall the other day, dropping off the paperwork for the lot split, and I looked in my mailbox and I got my first official certified letter. And I was excited because I never received a certified letter before, but then I was terrified because it was from the county. And the first thing that flashed, in my mind was like I'm getting audited or investigated or something like that. But upon closer inspection, it is from the Portage County Combined General Health District. And I'm not going to read the whole letter. I'll just give you a sense or two. But in collaboration with our stakeholders, the Portage County Health District updates stormwater geographic information system maps annually. So basically, they want an update to our geographic information system map for our stormwater drains.
Is that Ryan Shackerfold?
This is from Amos Sarfo, Program Supervisor, Stormwater and Wastewater. I was wondering if anybody else received a similar letter, or if I was the only one that received this letter.
I haven't been to my
I haven't been
mailbox.
to my mailbox. Marianne, can you help us on that?
Yeah, or John, do you get
The
this?
chief
Do you get
picks
something
up the
like this?
mail.
I never received it.
Yeah, I don't get the mail. The chief picks it up.
Okay.
Should
And
I
it was
drop this
addressed
off?
to you personally?
It was addressed to me personally, and I was like, whoa.
Well,
So, I mean,
council
John, do
president.
you want to take a look at this thing, or?
Wow. Yeah.
I would say, let John handle it, because he's been working with, Ryan Shackerfold on
Stormwater.
stormwater mitigation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been working on stormwater for a while.
Yeah, came to me.
Do you know that name, John?
Yeah, I know Amos real well. I work on the other part of the stormwater system for the county, and give it to me, I'll take care of it.
Okay. I'll tell you what I can do in the meantime is I can just take a picture of it. I'll send an email to you. I'll scan it basically and send it to you an email so you can take a look at it.
Yeah, take a picture and just send it, that's fine.
Yeah, cool. You got it, man. So, thank you. And that's all I had, everybody.
Okay. Paula, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Marianne, anything we need to know?
Nope,
You're not holding any secrets on us or anything?
nope.
Okay.
Well, she should tell you that the 100 or so meters that had been installed, there was just a couple little glitches with the auto reads, but they were all quite fixable. So
Yeah.
I think there was just one, wasn't there, Marianne, that it didn't register one resident?
We had 5 that didn't read. And I had to estimate for that, but that's 5%. So I talked to Ray and asked, well, I didn't talk to Ray. I talked to a woman named Kim, and they're going to send NECO back out to those addresses that I gave her to make sure when they installed the meter, it was pointing the correct way.
Oh,
Because they started to say that they weren't reading them because they were on a hill or there was a tree. And I explained to NECO that our village is on a hill with a bunch of trees.
and it's Tree City.
Right, and they knew this, so since they are the ones installing the meters, they're gonna go back out and check those addresses.
I will say, Marianne was a tiger for us, so she's not giving herself enough credit.
Good job.
She gave me an earful that night, and I was very glad that she was approaching it that way.
Good. Good
Thanks.
job.
Good.
All right. Anything else, John, Mayor, anybody?
Nope.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn at 6:48?
I will make a motion to adjourn at 6:48.
Second.
All ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. There we go.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for
Good night,
being
everyone.
here.